All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over our new release of the ethanol content sensor install for the Mazdaspeed3 and Focus ST. This kit will likely transition over to other cars depending on what side your factory feed is, but today we're going to be showing it on our Gen 1 Mazdaspeed3, and it's primarily going to be showing you guys how to install the content sensor, and the rest of everything else will be in the wiring instructions for the Innovate gauge. So let's go ahead, jump into it, show you guys what you're going to need, and go over the install with you. For this portion of the install, it's going to be very simple for us because we are running all of our own parts on the car so far. We are going to need a gun, a wobbly extension for a 10 mil, and if you are still running factory fuel lines, you might need a pick. Typically you can get that fitting off with just your fingers, but it is going to be a very simple install. You will need something further in to crimp this fuse tap for the gauge itself, but we're not doing that portion today. We're gonna get that done another time once we have our gauge pods actually come in. But again, this video is to highlight how to actually install the sensor into its location and show you how that's going to work. All right, you guys, the first thing we're gonna do is remove our battery since this is going to have an electrical install with it. Like I said, we're not gonna be doing the electrical portion today, but it is something that you'll need to get done. So we're gonna just remove the battery to give us more access into our back fuel line factory feed. All right, you guys, now that we have the battery out, we are gonna go ahead and remove our 4-inch intake. That is going to allow us to fully access these fuel lines in the back. With our intake in this position, it's going to be easier to remove the clamp from the valve cover. Don't want to fight the barb on our intake. So now that that is good, we can unplug our mass airflow sensor. And our intake is out. Now, the benefit of this is that we do have our Graveyard Performance port injection kit. We know that this is going to work with the factory system. For example, you are going to see us installing our flex fuel kit with our port injection returnless setup. So just so you guys are aware, this will work with the factory style. Now, if you look down here, the factory feed is typically a blue clip. And so what you'll do is you'll just take your finger or a pick and you will slide that and pull that off. And that is going to be a line that is able to be routed back into our sensor. For us, we're just gonna pull on this tab here. For those of you running our port injection kit already, we're gonna slide that off. And that's gonna give us more room from there right away. From here, we're gonna take our double female fitting and we are going to slide the small end onto our factory fuel line here. And you will need to pull this portion of it down to get it to slide all the way over and through. And now you can see we have that portion of it already installed. You guys are probably wondering, well, what are we gonna do with this line? That's coming. Next thing we're gonna do is install our GM sensor for ethanol content, which is gonna be this. Doesn't really matter the orientation that you put it. We're gonna try and install it this way so that way we have more room down below for the intake to still run. Same concept. You're gonna put that in there nice and straight, pull on the tab, slide it in, and we have that there. Now we're gonna take this other 360 fitting right here, and this is going to slide onto that, and we'll probably run it a little higher up, but it's going to end up putting it approximately the same position as we had it before. So again, we're kind of reaching into the turbo here, but same concept. You're gonna slide that, push that on and over. We'll slide that out of our coupler. And now we have our 360 fitting installed, ready to go. Our returnless fitting, it's a pretty tight and snug fit because we do have it tucked up, is going to be slid and pushed onto that. And just like that, we have our returnless fuel lines connected. Again, these do rotate, so for ease of getting our intake in and having that room available, we're gonna have these set down here because that's where our position naturally sits, closer down to this line. First steps, we'll put the intake back on and we'll get it going. Essentially, that's gonna be the portion that we're doing today for the install to show you how our 360 ethanol content kit works for ease of install. These are available for the Mazdaspeed 6 as well. They do come out with a fuel line closer to about right here. And with the ABS lines, stuff like that, it is a tighter squeeze, but we do have a Mazdaspeed 6 that will go out right now and show you how that is ran. At this point, you'll just follow Innovate's instructions. You'll install your fuse tap, your power, your ground, and run the gauge inside the cab. That way you're able to see your ethanol content on your Mazdaspeed 3, Mazdaspeed 6, and Focus ST. This is the Speed 6 that we wanted to test this kit on, make sure that we could get the 360 fittings in there, knowing that the Mazdaspeed 6 has a much tighter engine compartment when it comes to where that fuel line's location is. So if you look in here, we already have it installed and ready to go. We just need to wire in the ethanol content here as well. We have one 360 fitting, the female coming out here to there, and then our other one is tucked way back here by these ABS lines, and that just runs down and under and back into our factory fuel line. You can see down here, this is the blue clip that I'm talking about. Those typically are on the Mazdaspeed 3 as well, and it's the same concept. You just need to give it a little bit of a pry with your finger, slide that off, and then it'll push right back on and clip itself. All right, you guys, so for the Focus ST, the fittings are the same, the concept is the same, it's just in a different location. You will need a special tool to get the fuel fitting off of the metal fuel line, but aside from that, the install is going to be the same. We are also releasing our brand new carbon fiber badgeless deletes for the Mazdaspeed 3 Gen 1. We are working on a ton of carbon fiber parts for the Speed 3, the Speed 6, and probably a few other platforms, but for now, we're trying to keep things pretty tame. We really appreciate you guys watching. Please drop a comment in the video saying what you want us to show you how to install next. Keep up on the products that we're releasing, all of that good stuff. We also may or may not have shown our next shop car in one of our previous videos. So you can also drop a comment there to see what that's going to look like and guess what it is. We do have these kits in stock and ready to ship for the EcoBoost and Mazdaspeed platforms. You're $380 plus tax if applicable, but we have these ready to go. You can use code MSO5 at checkout for either the Focus or the Mazdaspeed and save 5% off of these kits. We're gonna have that running probably until the end of this month, so go grab your kit now. Don't waste all your time. You can save some money there. We really appreciate you guys watching the videos. We look forward to making more of these and continuing to try to entertain and educate you guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, it helps us a ton. We appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next video.